Hi, my name's Phil. I like talking about politics. In this video, I like to discuss an article that's been widely circulated in rejoin circles in the UK, which talks of people in Labour as well as non-partisan groups pushing for the Labour leadership to make the case for a better Brexit deal. But first, if you'd like to be notified of daily news and politics, please subscribe to the channel and click the bell notification icon. So on the face of it, to Europhiles in the UK, this sounds straightforward enough. Polls are showing a clear majority of people inside the Labour Party want Keir Starmer to attack the Brexit deal more strongly. Yes. A clear majority want closer alignment with the EU, and indeed that is the party's policy. Starmer, of course, is not going to be personally opposed to doing this. That he is not completely on top of it is because he's persuaded that now is not the right time. That's what he keeps saying. Welcome to the maddening world of being a Labour supporter. We spent several years with a Eurosceptic Labour leader who was persuaded to push for a second referendum on Brexit. And now we have a Europhile leader who is persuaded to whisper criticisms about Brexit when the Tory-centred turmoil is all around us. This has been Labour throughout my entire life, and I do not anticipate it changing. Some of you may have only seen the madness within Labour over the past few years when the spotlight has been shining brightly on British politics. You think you know the madness. I was born into it, moulded by it. But anyway, the point is that there's a clear majority wanting Starmer to, as this article puts it, push for a better Brexit deal. Of course he should, comes the cry. But no, this is wrong. Not because of any nonsense about not upsetting the Lexiteers. They are permanently upset. Brexit supporters in general, whether they're on the left or the right, are disturbed individuals. They need help, not appeasement. The reason it's wrong is because it's both impossible and wouldn't actually solve the problem if it weren't. It's impossible because the EU do not want the hassle of renegotiating the Brexit deal. They've said as much. It's clear anyway. They've already had it up to the back teeth. Nobody is saying, but I strongly believe that they are, regretting agreeing to the Northern Ireland Protocol. I reckon the new Commission wishes that the previous one just stuck to the backstop. As a result of their generosity of spirits, if not political acumen, they are now locked into endless negotiations with a UK government that is acting in extremely bad faith every step of the way. And this is the relatively narrow withdrawal agreement. Look how much trouble it's causing. You think they want to open up an even bigger can of worms for the trade and cooperation agreement? You must be as mad as the Brexiteers. But even if that were possible, let us suppose that you imagine that a future progressive government with openly pro-European policies were to engage. Would the EU change its mind? No. But let's pretend they did. How exactly does that solve the problem? Don't get me wrong, it would improve things, but a deal based around the notion that we aren't in the EU's customs union and single market will always mean trade barriers. Lowering them a little with some common sense cooperation doesn't solve the problem. I think it would actually help if people identified what they think the problem is. Because if the problem is trade barriers, only re-entering the single market can solve it. Those trade barriers were erected not by the deal, by leaving the single market. Nothing else. And that's not making the deal better. You know, joining the EEA, as I've discussed recently, join the EEA and the trade barriers are once again largely removed. It's still not as good as membership because we'll be following rules that are made by others. But at least we'll be able to trade again properly. Now, that'll come too late to save the businesses that are buggered right now because this would be in years. But we give future enterprises the tools they need to thrive. The son of sick man of Europe can once again tread the path to recovery by rejoining with our European community once again. Now, if that's not the extent of the problem, and I certainly don't think it is, then what is? Well, our loss of influence on the world stage, our political impotence. If that's the problem, joining the EEA isn't enough. That helps us trade, but we don't enhance our influence to where it was beforehand. If the problem is global influence, then we have two options. One, take over the world again. Not sure we're all that well equipped to nick countries this time around, if I'm honest. Two, rejoin the EU. Now, it's possible that being a huge economy inside the EEA, but not inside the EU, still gives us some influence. but we don't get a formal say on issues. No votes, no vetoes. If the problem is standing and imperialism isn't an option anymore, then rejoining the EU is the only solution. So although I'm sure many people here will have read the article in question in The Guardian and thought, yeah, why on earth aren't Labour doing this? Think of all the disaffected pro-European voters out there. Absolutely, Labour should be coming out as pro-European and proud of it, spotlighting all the damage that Johnson's Brexit deal is doing, though I would still argue it makes no sense to try and make Brexit voters look thick. But you don't solve a problem with a fake solution. I keep reading statements like, the deal damaging Brexit exporters. The deal is not damaging British exporters, sorry. It's not not one line in that deal is damaging exporters. Brexit is damaging British exporters. The deal actually helps some of them compared to a complete no-deal Brexit. What is damaging the exporters are the bits not included in the deal. The clauses that don't exist. The rules that govern third countries and international trade with everyone. Because when Brexiteers aren't doing my head in, sometimes the odd rejoiner does. Please, for the love of puppies, can people stop talking absolute rubbish? I know it worked for the Brexit crowd. Doesn't work for us. The problem isn't the deal. The problem is Brexit. I mean, let's say that Labour agreed, and campaigned for a better deal. Some smart arse, and there's bound to be one or two on the Brexit side, will ask them, OK, write down your proposal then. Let's see the detail. What would you argue for? Now, let's say they refuse. Well, why would they campaign for something that they can't even articulate in words? Yes, I know it worked for the Brexiteers. Doesn't work for us. So then let's say they do write the proposal down. It wouldn't take long to point out that it doesn't actually solve any problems. You still have trade barriers. You still don't decide your own rules. You still have political pressure in Northern Ireland. A better deal might get us Erasmus back or intelligence sharing with European police forces again. But it doesn't solve the problems as are being reported on an almost daily basis in the media. It's a completely pointless policy to try and get Labour to adopt. The EU will not revisit the deal, and it would only slightly improve our situation if they did, and would still take a long time to agree. There is no way to polish the Brexit turd. It needs to be picked up and chucked over the neighbour's fence. I mean, disposed of responsibly. Andrew Adonis calls the Brexit deal the Trade Reduction Treaty, and that's what it is. The whole premise of the deal, the structure of it, the very skeleton of it, was designed to reduce trade. Do you want to rework it? I don't. I want a completely different deal. I want to leave that alone, and I want to join the EEA with all speed. You don't do that by visiting the Trade Reduction Treaty. You do it by starting an entirely new process. If Labour actually did what these guys are wanting them to do, it would have the following two consequences. One, it would be looking backwards, not forwards. Because I actually agree with Starmer on one point, Labour cannot be trapped into fighting old battles. They should be pushing for a completely new and better arrangement with the EU. It won't be better than what we had, but forget about that. We had it. It's in the past. It just needs to be better than we have now. They just need to show the people a future that's better than they have right now with the Tories. Leave the dead, leave the deal. It's dead. It is dead. Second thing, it would help the Conservatives fight on a hill that they won, secured and reinforced a long time ago. They would be loving such a move because they can turn it into Labour are saying that all you working class people are all thick for voting Brexit. They think they're looking down on you. These Brexit voters haven't all woken up to the damage of it now, and they certainly don't want the thought that Labour are thinking that they're thick. As the election in Hartlepool next month is likely to show, unless, of course, this latest little downturn in the polls with Johnson's fight with Cummings has an effect. Might come too late for that. But certainly if that hadn't have happened, Hartlepool was gone. But anyway, it would be politically naive and of no practical benefits to us. Labour have already officially stated that they want a closer relationship with the EU. Corbyn's Labour said that they wanted a customs union with the EU. Starmer has not said that his policy has changed on that. I would rather people put pressure on Labour to put flesh on those bones. So you say you want a closer relationship with the EU. Can we have some details, please? You have been saying you want a customs union. Is that still the case? Are we going to join the EEA? What? That's what we should be putting pressure on Labour to say. What do you want to do exactly? But those are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments below. Hope you found the video interesting. If you did, don't forget to click the like button if you'd like to support the channel further. Please also click the Patreon link for details, and until next time, I'll see you later.